DPG.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, brother? I hear you, brother.
Man, it was I thought we were gonna walk away with the 3 points.
How many times did you feel like that?
Man, I think it might be a good thing to start benching Slonina, at least for 1 or 2 games.
I've heard that too. I've heard that too from a couple people.
Yeah, he needs to get his head back in the game, and I think he's probably feeling the pressure from, you know, thinking of, oh, what if this club signs me from Europe, or who am I gonna play for, USA or in Poland, you know, or oh, I'm not trying to mess up, you know. But defensively speaking, we were sloppy. That right side was just horrible. Tehran, he has no business on the starting 11. Espinoza was okay, but nothing spectacular. I mean, if it's not just that, but like you look at Sekulic, he let his man beat him on the run, and which ended up with the 3rd goal. The guy's making $600,000 on his contract. That's not a mistake a $600,000 man does. You know, I expect that more from like Espinoza or Tehran, not some guy that's making more than what they make combined.
Yeah, he needs to, especially that. Like the failures right after a goal, that was so critical. Twice in a row.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is like worse than a loss, you know, because it's like we had it right there.
But this is a good team, DPG. We got to say that. Red Bull is a good team, right?
It is a good team.
But we had the win. How many times?
Yeah, we had the win. We were 2 minutes away, 3 minutes away. All we needed to do was park the bus, get in a little corner, force a corner kick, and just kill time. That's all we needed to do.
I can't even blame Ezra's tactics for that goal. That was a breakdown to the man on those plays each time.
Yeah, and it's just, if you look, I think Patrick McKerney, the guy that does the CHGO, he posted I think maybe not too long ago, he posted a picture of the ratings that Foot Mobile put out for the Fire. And if you look on that right side, both Tehran and Espinoza and even Gaga have low marks on them, which sounds about right. Everybody else on that squad produced. They hustled. You know, everybody hustled. Everybody was there for the win. It's just that right side. And it's not just them two. It's like Sekulic, come on. We expect a lot more from Sekulic. And for the most part, he's done decent amount of work on that right side. But, you know, if you compare that to what we're paying him, you know, it's, you know, there's guys around the league that get paid maybe less than half of what he makes and do a much better job covering that right side, watching their man, keeping their mark. You know. But that second goal, that second goal was all on Gaga. That should have been a routine save.
Dude, the Gaga had at least the second mess up too. I mean, kind of felt like
that third one also.
Gaga had an off night all night long.
Yeah, like I said, I'm all for, hey, if you need to bench the kid, I mean,
give him a game.
You know, give him a game. You know, and it's almost, it makes you wonder if maybe he needs that veteran presence, you know, in that spot. You know, someone that kind of like how he had with Bobby Shuttleworth last year. You know, maybe he needs a guy like that around. I mean, because one thing is, fine, he has Aiden Brown coaching him, but, you know, it's not like Aiden Brown retired, what, 5, 6, 7 years ago? I don't remember when. It's been a while. But you need a guy that's, hey, even though we play the same spot and we're probably gonna have to fight for that same spot, I'll take you under my wing and I'll help you out. You know, he needs someone that has that veteran presence that knows how it feels to be in that spot he is.
So somebody in my chat brought up earlier, one of the Scotland fans who's also an Inter Miami fan, said they should take the Inter Miami goalkeeper who's available. I think it's like Diop or something like that. And I was saying no, but now that you're saying that, what you're saying, maybe the Fire should consider a trade like that because he was a veteran presence. But in my head, I'm like, that just puts Gagosuni to further behind. I want Gagosuni to start in every game regardless. Yeah. This is just a minor hiccup. This is 2 games out of 34. I want him to start 28 of them.
No, of course, and that's fine. But you know, we're dealing with an 18-year-old. We're not dealing with a guy that's been in the league 6-7 years, something like that. You know,
that's a great point.
That's a whole different mindset. He has, I mean, don't get me wrong, he has the potential. The sky's the limit for this kid. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's still relatively young. You know, he's feeling those mistakes a lot harder than a guy that's been in the league 5-10 years. And of course, you know, like anything else, you know, he's gonna learn from these. But the fact is that if he has so much pressure on him, if he has pressure not to mess up, or he has other pressures, it's like he's never gonna be able to be confident again. You know, he's not gonna be the Gaga from March or April when he had all those clean sheets.
I think he could become that again. I mean, it's just, you know, things like you've also brought it up. There's a lot of things on his mind.
Yeah, he has a lot to think about, and it's a lot of stuff to think about when you're 18.
Oh my gosh, it's so much more than people realize.
And this is one of those things where you have to really think about it, because this is like a career-changing move. Who are you gonna play for, Poland or USA? Or hey,
it's a life-changing move either way. Yep.
Or hey, you know, what European club wants me to go sign with them? You know, it just, you know, I think he even had contract talks or something, or he agreed to personal terms from a few weeks ago. So it's things like that that are probably floating in his mind, and that's, you know, fine. That's fine, but you have to look at it as, hey, he's only 18 years old.
That's a lot to weigh on a kid.
Exactly. You know, and don't get me wrong, he's very mature for his age, but he's still just 18 years old.
He's still just a kid.
You know, and but honestly, Shaqiri played like an $8 million man today.
Tonight?
Yeah, I think if he keeps playing like that or better, then yeah, I don't mind him getting paid $8 million. You know, because he can make magic happen. He scored a goal. That's even better. But the fact is, you're starting to see the link up between him and Jairo Torres. It's just, those guys are going to cause a lot of trouble for a lot of defense.
Oh my gosh, Jairo Torres makes me happy.
You know, he had those silky runs. Like Jairo Torres knows how to play that side. Yeah. He knows how to play the wings. You know, and you throw in Mueller on there, my God, we should have like one of the best attacks, or at least one of the best like build-up players, you know, in the league.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for what Jairo can do, dude. You are absolutely right. And Dago pointed out on Twitter too, like just right away within the first 10 minutes of his first game, I was a believer.
You know, and the thing is that we only seen him for 45 minutes. I mean, you know, and Ezra's slowly bringing him in the fold, but I think he might be good to go to start. You know, and keep in mind, we're still missing, you know, Chicho's in the back.
Chico's was not in. Gaston did not start. But how do you feel about John Jada Duran?
I like him. Honestly, he has that raw speed. I think, and again, he's only 18. So again, he's still developing. We can't expect him to play like, you know, an all-star caliber player yet. You know, he'll get there. He has the talent.
Who would you rather start, him or Kasper Przybylko?
Him. Przybylko looked horrible today, and a lot of people were pissed off about that. Some people were saying, "Hey, just, you know, leave him in New York. You know, the team looks a lot worse when he plays." And you know, there was times where if you watch like the last couple of minutes of the game, like that last 10 minutes, you know, he had the ball and he'll lose the ball and he'll just stand there like, well, I messed up, I guess. Oh well.
I'm being
Like,
tall. Like, not much I could do now.
exactly. So it's like, dude, you gotta hustle.
Gotta
You
do
know,
something else there, buddy.
you gotta win the balls. You know, and the thing is that he's trying to do too much. You know, like, you remember when we had Nikolic, you know, 4 years ago, whatever. We all knew that, you know, Nikolic knew that he couldn't do too much. Like, he couldn't be too, you know, he didn't have that flair that, you know, didn't have those like tendencies like, you know, skilled players might have. But what he had was that killer finishing. You know, Shabilko's trying to cross over and try and take on defenders like he is, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo. But the thing is that he's so slow that he's predictable. And, you know, I don't know if someone needs to tell him, hey, you know, how about you just shoot the ball, header the ball in. Don't do too much. If you're double teamed, pass the ball. You know. But a lot of times I just see him try to do too much, and you know, even that third goal, I think he almost messed that up too. But yeah, that's my take on it. I'm hoping that he gets better and he actually starts scoring goals, because otherwise this is gonna be a lot of wasted funny money on him. And the thing about it is that we're stuck with him for the next, what, 2, 3 years, 4 years?
You know what sucks though, DVG, is I really feel like if we had Georgi Mihailovic, he would make so much more sense and make this whole team work so much better, instead of having to slot in either Federico Navarro or Mauricio Pineda. You already have Georgi Mihailovic out there, and you put either Federico out there or Mauricio, and you figure it out.
Oh my God, if we had Georgi Mihailovic, that will solve a lot of issues. And I actually mentioned it before. I was talking to someone about this. If we had Georgi, my God, I don't think we would even need to go get Shaqiri. That's how, you know, first, that's how good he's playing right now. He's literally the heart and soul of that attack for Montreal. If we had that Georgi in the Fire squad right now, we wouldn't even need to get Shaqiri. We would have been good with just having Torres and Mueller, you know, and Gaston in the back, or whatever, Gaston or Pineda or, you know, Navarro. You know, and that's not a knock on Shaqiri, but it's just, you know, it hurts a lot more knowing that we had him. We literally had him, and he was showing flashes of brilliance, you know.
But he wasn't getting belief from the coach or the GM. But the fans believed in him.
Yeah, the fans, you know, the thing about it is that since they didn't play him enough, you know, Rafael Wiki didn't play him enough. A lot of fans were satisfied when the Fire shipped him off to Montreal for 1 point whatever million, you know, funny money they got.
Nothing.
People were like, oh yeah, you know, it's just, that's fine. If we can make a profit out of it, that's fine. You know, there's people that were agreeing with the move because they didn't give him a chance. Rafael Wiki didn't give him a whole lot of chances. You know, and that's the unfortunate. That's pretty much, he's a casualty of all this. You know, didn't work out, and it's sad that now, you know, he's, you know, blossoming into this really good attacking midfielder. Which, by the way, you know, if it wasn't for Shaqiri and Torres and Mueller, we'd be sorely lacking.
He might be going to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Georgi Mihailovic. I mean, he's playing that well right now. He's just out of his mind. Montreal has picked it up. They started off the season with a little bit of struggles, but I fully expect them to turn it on. They had a good team on paper, and sure enough, they had the CCL Blues. That's all it was, the Champions League Blues. And once that ended, they started trending upward. Yeah,
and it's, you know, they're on top of the table right now, or close to it. So, yeah, and if you paid attention to Montreal, you know that they have always struggled on the attack. You know, prior to Georgi joining them. When Georgi joined them, all of a sudden, you know, Romeo Kyoto was getting passes. You know, there was a lot of move build-up play from starting from Georgi. Man, and again, that could have been us.
It would have helped this team's build so much, having him in that midfield. He's not even like would you qualify him as a number 10, or would you qualify him as a box-to-box midfielder?
I would qualify him as a number 10 easily. In fact, I would rather play him as a number 10. Because that's pretty much where his strength is at. He is that attack-minded midfielder that we have all been wanting, but unfortunately, the front office or the coaching staff was too blind to see that.
They didn't have the patience.
Yep.
Dude, that's fucking. That makes me. I mean, that's disappointing. It's a bitter pill that we're gonna have to swallow as Fire fans as we look at this team and wonder what if.
All we could hope for at this point is we could hope that Mueller and Torres and Shaqiri, they really mesh together well and start making goals and creating scoring opportunities. And if Shabilko can't score them, then sure as hell John Duran can.
I think I'm at the point where you don't even need to play for Shabilko. Just start playing the kid, John Duran. Give him a couple more games here and there.
Yeah, I mean, and I think another thing too is that with Duran playing, you could almost go for that long ball play, meaning just freaking lob the ball to him. He's gonna beat mostly everybody in the league as far as in terms of speed.
He seems fast, and why do you not have him out there is beyond me.
Yes, like
he's fast and tall. Like that's two powers that Kasper Šišpilka only has one of. He's tall.
And the thing is, there's times when you build up the play, and then there's times where you just hike the ball, and the guy up in front is probably the fastest guy, one of the fastest guys in the league. He will literally, we've seen him run and blow, take apart defenses. I mean, his finishing is it's he's still, again, 18 years old, but he could finish, probably do a better job finishing than Shabilko.
He just needs to get a couple more games under him, and we've given Šišpilka games. How many more games do we got to give Šišpilka? It's time to start playing the kid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, unless Ezra's gonna change the tactics and go
don't
with
see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. Go with 2 strikers instead of 1. I mean, it would be interesting for him to try it out. Push Šišpilka and Duran, and you never know. That might be a better combination in terms of goal productivity from those two. It would sure take a lot of pressure from Torres and Mueller and even Shaqiri, because all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, we can't put 2 defenders on 1 striker. Now we have 2 strikers to worry about. So that's my 2 cents I give.
I think that Mueller also is going to change a lot of how this team thinks and how it works.
God, you see what Mueller does? Like Mueller, that's that goal he scored, man. And the fact is that Gutierrez, he had that vision of, okay, well, I'm gonna pass it back to him, and boom, he scores.
Genius. Yep, that was great. Great play.
I like the fact that Gutierrez actually had that vision where, okay, we're doing the give and go, not just, well, he gave me the ball, I'm gonna try to shoot. No, he saw the vision.
Chicago Fire have some stuff to build upon, but I mean, there's just a lot of cracks in the foundation. Now, I was talking with Guillermo on the Twitters earlier, and we were just coming out to the conclusions that, is this the same thing all over again? That we've seen with the same thing we've seen with Pano, the same thing we've seen with Wiki. Is this just those flashes and then it all goes to shit?
Well, that's the thing. If you would have told, let's put it like this. At the end of the season, let's say, I'm just an example. At the end of the season, let's say the Fire makes a deep run in the playoffs. If you would have told me then, hey, the Fire made a deep run to the playoff, was it worth seeing them, go through a whole losing streak and a bad start? Or would you rather have a bad start or a bad finish at the end of the season? Thinking of 2017, I would have been like, you know what? I would take those 7, 8 losses if it meant that this team is slowly improving and it's getting to that level of play that they're expected to be at.
They did tie. I mean, they did tie today. They got a point, but Here's the other thing though, DPG. I mean, because we do have those expectations, but the Chicago Fire are miles behind all of these other organizations like the Red Bulls, miles behind. I think in just so many ways, in experience, and that also hurts them and maybe leads to these types of results.
Well, the thing you have to think about it this way too. For the Fire to get to that level, it takes time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I get everybody wants this team to be successful, you know, and that's fine.
Like drop out the gate and boom, win the race. But
if 2-3 years from now we win the MLS Cup or we go all the way to the CONCACAF Champions League final and we win it, do you think anybody's gonna remember and be like, man, we had, man, 2-3 years ago we were bad. Nobody's gonna think about that. Man. Everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, we're really good.
That's all you're gonna think about.
But it takes time to get to that point.
It's how good you are and how to keep staying at the top. Look at those Atlanta fans. They're like, as soon as they started losing any games, they're like, oh my God, it's over. But they still have a good team. They still had a good roster. They still have a good basis. They're still miles ahead of, they're miles ahead of Chicago Fire in many ways. They have Bocanegra up there too.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, it's gonna take time. And people calling for Ezra's ahead, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. We gave freaking Rafa Wiki 2 years. We gave Pano 3-4 years. And those guys pretty much just crap the bed. It's still crap. I mean, you look around the league. One example I want to use is like Ben Olsen. When Ben Olsen started, that DC United team was horrible. I mean, it's still horrible now, but they at least got to win like the U.S. Open Cup at one point, and they were somewhat competitive for a few seasons under Ben Olsen. But that first year with Ben Olsen at the helm, they were horrible. I think they were like in last place, and they were close to almost breaking the record for the least amount of points. So every great coach usually starts off slow. You look at every great coach, even in the Premier League and all, even the national teams. Like you look at Alex Ferguson at one point, the best when he started off with Man United, he had like a 11th place, 10th place finish. The guy was about to lose his job the next season had he not qualified or won the FA Cup.
Wow, and that's one of the greatest coaches in history.
Exactly. It's great coaches are not made in one day. It takes time, and Ezra is still learning. He's no longer somebody else's lackey. He's actually the guy with the lackeys. And
you've just made me think of a great point, you made a great point where it made me think of this. The Fire brought in culture creators, culture fomenters, where earlier it was sterile. It was just sterilization everywhere. Now, finally, there's culture there. And in order for the flavors to affect the ice cream, it's going to need a little time.
Yeah. We got to keep in mind that we're still going through a culture shift with this organization.
I think a monumental culture shift as well. Like literally total different ways of thinking in certain areas.
And the thing about it is that a lot of fans are not realizing is that we're getting kind of what we wanted. We wanted an owner that was willing to spend money, and we got it. We're getting at this point, we're still, as far as I think a lot of decisions coming from the GM could be better. But that again, that's going to get evaluated at the end of the season. And honestly, I strongly believe that maybe it might be time to get a new GM.
Somebody who gets the rules of the league maybe a little bit better.
Someone that could get the rules of the league, someone that's a little bit savvy with how the league works. And of course, you got to have a guy that knows what kind of talent they need for this team.
I wonder if that guy's Garth Lagerwey.
That's an interesting point. The question whether is does Garth want to come to Chicago? He pretty much did everything he could in Seattle. At this point, he's just pretty much, is he the kind of guy that wants to take up a new challenge? Because any GM that comes to Chicago is going to take up a very big challenge.
I don't know if that's the case. Now, here's the thing. Think about this. Say you're Garth Lagerwey. Let's just do a profile on the guy. Garth Lagerwey. Let's see. He's 49 years old. If he is going to go for another challenge, that's got to be now. Otherwise, the older he gets, the longer he stays in Seattle, the more comfortable he is, the more comfortable his family is, the more reticent they're going to be, the more unlikely they're going to want to change their surroundings.
Yeah.
If you're going to get Garth Lagerwey, you're got to get him right now.
And we have an owner, again, that has very deep pockets. So if you need to throw money at the guy, that's no issue. I think at this point, safe to say that money is no object for this owner.
No.
He doesn't care about overpaying, and I think today at the CHGO podcast, they were talking about Joe Mansueto and how his style of management is. He builds for the long term, right? He's not the type of guy that wants to build for the quick results.
That's why it makes me think that maybe they aren't getting rid of Georg Heitz anytime soon unless they can bring in a guy like Garth Lagerwey.
Exactly. So, and I'm sure, Joe Mansueto's probably versed with what's a good GM, and I'm sure he's heard the name Garth Lagerwey. So, it won't be surprising if he does come to Chicago. There's some sort of, behind the scenes, communication between the two parties. But, Georg Heitz at this point, his contract's up at the end of the season. You have to evaluate the work he's done for the past 3 years, 4 years.
You have to evaluate the entire body of work. It's not just this last year; it's everything.
You have to evaluate the players he's brought in, the decisions he's made. If Rafa Wiki was his coaching decision, so you have to evaluate that. And honestly, if you look back, I don't think there's a lot to pretty much celebrate. I think that's big.
And he also distanced himself from Rafa Wiki pretty quickly, but also that was his hire.
Yeah, you're supposed to back up the guy you hired. And I think the only achievement he did, well, maybe two, was first he was able to pull off the Shaqiri move, because of personal connection with him.
We're talking about Rafa. We're not talking about Rafa Wiki. We're talking about Georg Heitz.
Yeah, Second, he freaking sent Aliseda to FC Lugano, which, by the way, won the Swiss Cup. So he made that was his best move he could do to free up some salary space.
Wow.
But that's about it. I mean, we haven't won anything. We haven't made the playoffs. And we still have an anemic striker issue going on.
We have an anemic offense. That's a huge issue. And we look at Ezra, we look at the roster build, but when I see some of this roster build, when I see Shaqiri, Mueller, and Jairo Torres, I gotta think that goals are coming.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, yeah.
That combination, though, only just started 2 games ago, so maybe we can forgive the lack of offensive flair, but still, without those guys, what would this team be doing? And that's on Georg Heitz.
Yeah. It's not like we're getting these guys on a deal. We're pretty much overpaying them.
I think Georg Heitz is actually making, now that we're analyzing this more and more and more, Georg Heitz is not building the best possible team he can. He's being his misunderstanding of the rules, his non-understanding of how to build this roster, I think is starting to really impact this team. And Joe Mansueto's got to look really for the long term. Yeah, maybe Georg Heitz has got us to the point where we need him to get. Now this is where we bring in Garth Lagerwey, and we really think for the long term.
Yeah, if you bring a guy like Garth Lagerwey, you're thinking for the long term. You're giving that guy time to get, to build up a roster. Even if you have to burn one season of bad results to get it going, that's fine, because this is a long-term project. And this is kind of the same thing with Ezra. This is with Ezra, it's a long-term project. I get it.
He is. He's not a year project.
Exactly. I get it. We had a string of bad results, but again, this was almost expected. Even Ezra mentioned is like, hey, there's gonna be some growing pain.
DPG though, that brings me to the idea though that if that is valued, that wanting to keep Ezra and keeping him, and that is like a long 3-year process. Well, that's the beauty of Garth Lagerway.
Yeah,
he's a former Garth Lagerway guy.
Exactly. Him and Ezra have, they know each other. They've worked with each other. They've won trophies together. So that's like the hand fits the glove.
And Perfect. If Lagerway comes in and says, I don't think Ezra's the guy that I want to coach, that I want to be my coach, then I go with Lagerway.
Yeah.
I literally go with the guy who's won CCL and wins Champions Leagues and MLS Cups and all that.
Yeah, you go with the guy that knows how to win. But I have a feeling that, Lagerway will even look at Ezra and be like, you know what, this is the type of coach I want. This guy knows how to win too. And I honestly think, I could just already imagine, Lagerway and Ezra and the coaching staff just sitting in like in a conference room, literally kind of almost like moneyballing players around the league. Like, hey, we should sign this guy. What do you think about this guy? Oh, I could get this guy on half his salary. We just, making money moves like that, But again, we gotta wait and see what happens with the rest of the season. We gotta wait and see what happens with Heights. We gotta wait. We'll see what happens with the Fire. If they make the playoffs, then you kind of have to reevaluate that too. Should we keep going with Heights, or was this like a 1-year fluke, or maybe it's time for a different direction?
But isn't it a 4-year fluke with Heights? I mean, and now think about this. He hasn't brought in a marquee player until this year. This is year 4, and his marquee player signing is Xherdan Shaqiri. Before that, his marquee player signing was Gaston Jimenez, and giving away Chicago darling Georgia Mihailovic.
Yeah, and the thing is that the jury's still out for, Gaston Jimenez. I mean, he's had good games. He's had great games. But the thing is that if somebody walked up to the Fire and say, hey, how about I'll give you $3 million for that guy? You don't ask any questions. You say, okay, we'll get that paperwork right away. And that's it. You don't try to hassle and, oh, no, I want more money. No, you give them away. You get that DP slot open up. You get that salary cap, that salary space opened up. Then you sign a guy that's much better than Gaston Jimenez.
But he's feeling the pressure from getting a return on investment and trying to, show that he's not making mistakes. And by doing that, that shows that he makes mistakes, admits things about himself as a GM, which he doesn't necessarily want to admit.
Exactly. But the thing is, there's a difference between a guy trying to save his job and a guy doing what's best for the club.
Well, speaking of a guy who wants to save his job, listen to every fucking Georg Heights presser in the last 2 years. It's a guy trying to fucking, pardon my French, DPG. I'm just pissed about it because now that I'm realizing it, Georg Heights, he threw Wiki under the bus so fast. He threw all these other people under the bus so fast, and it's time to throw him under the bus, in my opinion. Bring in Garth Lagerway.
Bring in a good, competent GM. Bring a guy that knows the league inside and out. Guy that has experience running a club in MLS. Honestly, I don't want another European type GM. I don't want a guy that's never, dealt with the MLS. Give me a guy that knows what the hell he's doing. Give me a guy that knows the rules inside and out. Don't give me another guy from like the English Premier League or the Italian, Serie A. Give me a guy that freaking coached, that managed or GM. He was a GM for, some random club in the MLS at this point. Preferably someone that's won, though. I don't want like San Jose trash or anything like that.
Nope. You don't want That's for me. Garth, I start with Garth Lagaway. That's where I'm building my new Chicago Fire team. That's what I want for Chicago Fire. That's the type of winning culture I want here. That's the type of player development. That's the type of every fucking thing when it comes to MLS success that I want to bring here. Seattle has.
Yep.
How do we get the man from Illinois who runs Seattle to come back to Illinois?
Well, I know. I have a good idea how. You give the guy a truckload of cash, which of course, Uncle Joe will have no issue whatsoever.
You know that 25% offer that you saw, some of us saw on the table for Messi to become, or 35% offer to own Inter Miami to come play for them, and he'd own 35% of the team. I was like, that doesn't make sense at all. But you know who I would offer that to? Garth Lagaway.
The thing is like, Mansueto's not afraid to spend money. He'll overpay if he has to. He's the richest sports owner in Chicago.
In MLS, maybe too.
In MLS, probably, yeah. I think he has more money than Robert Kraft or some of these billionaires around the league. And that's great for us. He's not afraid to spend money, and you could kind of tell the vibe we get from the club. It actually feels like a professional team now. It doesn't feel like a mom and pop shop that we had under Hoffman.
That's the thing. We need a guy who knows how to spend that money properly, and we don't think that's Georg Heitz, right?
Exactly. Yep. We have the tools. We just need the guy that knows how to use them. We have the resources. We have the tools. We just need the guy that could use them.
If you got the most money, let's get the best GM in MLS. If we got the most money in MLS, give me the best GM that MLS has to offer. Sorry, who's the Don Garber? I need Lagaway now.
I mean, what is it going to take? Does Joe Mansueto have to bribe Don Garber to freaking let go of whatever, vendetta he has against Chicago?
Yeah, what is this? What is going on?
It's not. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
No, I was gonna say if it's not him, it's the refs.
The referees.
Just whatever it takes at this point, and it's happening. And I'll leave it at that. And on that note, I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, DPG, thank you so much for hopping on here, brother. I always love talking fire with you, brother.
All right, man. You take it easy.
All right. Hit that like button for DPG, guys. Thank you so much. And guys, we'll catch you on the next Spitting Fire. That was awesome. Little recap of the game. We're talking about how the Fire need to reinvent themselves, and they are in the midst of that. And there's some growing pains that come along with that process, such as the night. But along with those growing pains, it's also outgrowing the nest. And maybe we've outgrown Georg Heitz, chat. Let us know if you agree. Put in the comments below. Kick that like button. Subscribe for more Spitting Fire. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out here, checking out the video, watching the video. Much appreciated. Super thanks is greatly appreciated. Join, become a member, and you will have a fantastic YouTube experience. We do all the Chicago Fire live streams. We'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Check out some awesome, amazing content coming out this week. And we already had some amazing content come out last week. Make sure you guys check that out. It was awesome. Loved it. Spent a lot of time editing some amazing stuff for you guys. We'll catch you on the next one, Fire fans. And then we're going to close out with this dub here for whoever's going to win this game. And we'll sign off here on Spitting Fire. Got this guy chilling into the Corvette. Ooh, he's going super fast. He's looking around. Let's see if we can get any information. Oh, he's right here. Oh, he's right here. Oh, he's right here. He runs away. Oh, there's another guy. All right, this guy's over here. So this is the 4 people. Oh, look out. Oh, you're in trouble, buddy. Yep, he's got him in your sights. Shoot him. Oh, shoot him. You're in trouble. See ya. Okay, you're in trouble. And we got 3-person left situation.
Wall at his back pushing. He's gonna have to run for it. Hope that his overshield holds up. He's able to do it. Gets that health and gets back to 100.
Huge little play. Now the other person's taking on the other. We're gonna have to see what's going on here. They eliminated him. Now it's a one-on-one situation here, chat. I wonder if they're gonna drop that for the bouncers. No, they don't. They stay aggressive. They got the low ground. They got the high ground. Who is going to win it, chat? They're in a position where they see. They are in cover. They are not in cover. He does not know where this person's at. This guy knows pretty much where this person is. Has a pretty good idea. Nice little shield. Of course, you got berries. You got to pop those. Maximize that. Oh, he's got more health than this guy, so that's going to help. Load it all up. Eat it all up. Eat it all up. 90, one more, and he's got it. Why not get that 200? Keeping an eye out. Forced. Here, right? Lara Croft. Oh, miss. Controller. Revealed. There it is! And that's the dub! Fired up footballers, thanks for joining us here on Spitting Fire. The best in the world. Greatly appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully the